Happy Monday, guys. So the message, this podcast, what is this? The Spiritual Advisor podcast. I don't know. Is pain, right? How much time do we try to save other people from pain, and we're kind of ignoring our own pain by doing so, right? I was at my brother's house yesterday. We were having Easter dinner, and uh, I got a fly in my head. I hear flies in the house and then they land on my head. Um, and playing baseball with my brother in the backyard. My younger brother. Uh, Older brother was he was working on something in the garage, putting some shelves together. I have two nieces. My youngest niece, she's like two, um, was playing in the backyard with us. Of course, they always want your attention. You're like, come on, you got to watch them, make sure they don't get too close. You're throwing a baseball. Baseballs are, you can knock somebody out with a baseball. And Andy threw it over the fence. So I had to jump the neighbor's fence or jump our fence to go into the neighbor's yard, grab the baseball. And she saw me go over there, and she just wanted to climb the fence too. So I picked her up and I let her look over the fence. And I was like, you're not supposed to go over there. You can, when you turn 10 years old, I'll help you get over there, right? She's two. She's not going to remember. But if she does, I'll do it, right? I'll help her. Anyway, she's standing a little ways off, and most of the time I don't think anything of it because usually if there's a ball, if throwing catch with each other and the ball comes at you and it looks like it's gonna hit the girl or whatever, I can knock it down. Even if I can't catch it, I can reach out and knock it down. Dagny was still trying to get up over the wall, so she was holding her hands up and trying to get up over the wall, and she was just out of reach, or I couldn't. She was too far away from me. And my brother threw an errant ball, just totally errant ball. And I looked over because it looked like it was going right at her, and it was above her head. Now I heard it hit the wall, and so I was like, "Oh." Dagny started yelling. I thought she was scared, so I ran over there, and then I picked her up because I wanted to look at her hand because she was holding her hand down, and her fingers bleeding. So she got hit by the ball, and she was holding her hand up against the wall, and it must have just whacked her finger. And I felt so bad, right? Because it's the last thing you want to do is hurt your kids. And I've had so many kids that I've seen hurt, and I've lost a kid, right? That was in so much pain. And a lot of times you want to take that pain away, but if you don't know how to let go of pain, and that's the main message of this video, is to be able to let go of pain. It's not easy, especially if you think that somebody has hurt you. I mean, she didn't know what she was doing. She didn't know what was happening, right? It probably felt like the wall bit her because she was looking away. It's like, what happened, right? So she didn't know if maybe, Uncle Brian got mad at her, or maybe something else happened, or maybe a bee or something. But I mean, it mashed her finger and it would cut it, enough to where it was bleeding pretty good. I mean, it smashed her finger. And so they took her in the hospital, and it broke the end of her finger. She's young enough, and she'll recover. And it's not going to be, I don't think it'll be any kind of permanent damage. And it doesn't look like it's broken in a couple spots, but it looks like it'll pull back together pretty well. But pain is one of those things that a lot of times we unconsciously carry pain that we will slough on the people around us, and we not even realize that we're doing it. And you really have to understand, what you're holding on to. Because if you don't know how to let go of whatever it is you're holding on to, you'll keep passing that off to other people. Even fear for each other, right? Fear of what might happen to somebody or yourself. A lot of times you say, well, I don't care what happens to me. I just care what happens. But that's not the right way to look at it, right? Because all of us are interconnected to the way where you can't really separate one life from another. You can't. It's impossible. You could try, but there's no way that you could do it. my life is your life and vice versa. And if you always think of it in those terms, if you say, well, this is my life, it's like, okay, this is our life. You cannot look at it in any other way because, the goal is to try and create as much abundance for everybody and eliminate as much pain as possible. But you can't force, you have to learn how to let go of pain. And the only way to do that is to experience it. I got the same, that message showed up this morning, right after that happened yesterday. And I had a dream last night where I think me and somebody else, but the somebody else, maybe the somebody else was a guide. I almost felt like the somebody else was a guide because they kind of disappeared at the end of the dream. Learned how to turn into a little bug and fly. Fly. I could fly anywhere. I could fly, and it was much easier to fly and climb onto stuff when you were just small, little bug, right? What's wrong with a humble little bug? The last thing you want to do is become big, because then you're carrying too much, right? If you're small, you're not really carrying anything. So it's really easy to fly if you're not carrying anything, right? Your burdens will weigh you down. The things you feel like you need all the time weigh you down. Try to own too much stuff, or, and then at the end of the dream, it started to get stormy, wintry, and I tried to fly against the wind because there were some people over there I wanted to see and to show them how to fly. But the wind wouldn't let me. I couldn't fly against the wind. It was just for me. It wasn't for anybody else, right? That's a pretty hard thing to accept, right? Sometimes. So I went over to, at the end of the dream, I think I was in a van or something. And I was talking to some people that were supposed to fly with me. And we were going to fly together. And I think maybe it was specific people, and it wasn't the other people that I was trying to get to, where the wind was blowing me away. Does this sound familiar to you guys? Anyway. Yeah. Can't control anything, right? The minute you even try to control your own fate, it's so bad you. Hey, what is this thing, right? It's just an organism, just purifying the heart. Can't pour new wine into old wineskins. So, if you're trying to think that you're going to have to be destroyed before you can get rebuilt. Yeah. And pain. Learning to let go of pain is probably one of the number one things. Yeah. I don't have anything else for you guys. I know a lot of you guys will understand this. The only thing you'll never kill, everything else will pass away. But the only thing that you'll never kill is the heart. The heart of anything. Because it was never alive. It's the only spot that's not moving. It's dead. It's alive and it's dead at the same time. Sacred journey. It is a sacred journey. Slowly letting go of your burdens and not feeling like you have to take on other people's burdens. You have to take on your own burdens, or you'll never make it. You'll never become the bug. and fly away. Because you just want to be small and fly. None of us want to be too big. Maybe you think we do, but it's not. Not what you really want. Your heart wants to be free. And the only way your heart can be free is if you let go of everything. Right? Because then it frees you up to love in a way that you could have never done if you were holding on to things. Right? Love you guys. Have a beautiful day. And I'll catch you on the next one.